The story of Hürlimann tractor sounds more like a classic all-American inventor's tale. Rather, it involves a Swiss farm boy who saw the need for a tractor that could readily work the rugged land of his native Switzerland. Hello everybody, and you're very welcome back to the channel. So yes, I've been off for a couple of weeks. I'm very sorry, but I have actually been very busy with the good weather. A lot of work going on at home on the farm, a lot of work going on the day job, so it's just been busy. So yeah, and to everybody who got in contact actually to see was I actually okay. Yes, I'm 100% fine. There's not a bother on me. Thank you very much for all your messages. There was a few people who contacted me to see was everything okay. Yeah, I'm 100% fine. And everyone that has messaged me about various other things in the meantime, thank you very much. Now, I know I did mention in one of my videos that I have been on the lookout for a Massey Ferguson seed drill. So to Carl, who looked at one up in the north for me, or his dad looked at one, and to Eamon, who looked at one in Portlaoise for me, thank you very much, guys. Haven't bought that yet. There's a lot of rust buckets out there, but I'm still looking. So yes, if anybody knows where there's a Massey Ferguson 30 seed drill that doesn't need too much work, I don't mind a little bit of work, but not too much rust, yeah, please give me a shout. And everyone else who has been in touch, thanks a million. So it's great to see now we're over the 4,000 subscribers mark at this stage, and that's super, something that you know, I've been pushing hard for the last couple of months. Although it's been busy and I haven't got as many videos out as I would like to get. Still, subscriber list is still climbing, and the views over the channel are still climbing, and that's always great to see. There's a little spider or something there, yeah. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Yeah, subscribers are still growing and the views are still growing. So thank you very much to everyone who's subscribed. And you're all very welcome to the channel. So this video is a follow-on, I suppose, on the videos that we have been doing on the SDF group. So the Sammy Dites Fire group. So we've had, you know, our Sammy and our Dites videos and stuff. And this Hürlimann is another string to that bow. So look, it's a relatively short video. It's about the history of Hürlimann, where they started off, how they grew, and then their amalgamation into the SDF group. Again, I'm not going to deal too much with specific models, just the important ones coming up. But Hürlimann, anyone around my area, they were actually a fairly popular tractor over my area as well, around County Meath, with the tillage men and the potato men at the time. There was quite a few Hürlimann lying around. There was a dealer in our area, and anyone that had Hürlimann or Sammy at the time, which are pretty much the same tractor, people were very familiar with them. Mechanics in the area were very familiar with them, and parts were, of course, readily available from a few guys in our area as well. So we're going to push on with the video. And of course, as always, if you have any history with Hürlimann tractors, if you've driven them, if you've worked on them, if you've worked under them, please give me a shout. And if you worked for Hürlimann themselves, if you're a mechanic in a dealership, or if you work in the Hürlimann factory or anywhere like that, I'd love to hear from you. I'd always love to get that extra little bit of knowledge. So we're going to kick off the video with the history of the Hürlimann tractors. I suppose what is astounding about the Hürlimann tractors is that this rather small manufacturer became such a giant when it came to introducing technological advancements to tractors. After leaving the family farm, Hans Hürlimann took to mechanical training as a mechanic with a factory located in Wil in Switzerland. Eventually, he advanced to become the firm's sales manager, which provided Hürlimann with invaluable marketing experience. The self-enterprising Hürlimann recognized that the need for a tractor that would fit Swiss farmers' needs, and believed he could not only design such a tractor, but also convince people and producers to buy it. In 1929, he started hand-building a gas-powered single-cylinder tractor equipped with a sickle mower. All told, 416 of those models, the 1K8, were to be built, putting Hürlimann into the tractor business. The next year, Hürlimann set about improving on the model 1K8 and introduced the more powerful model 1K10. That same year, he named his firm Maison Hürlimann. Demand for his tractors continues to grow to the point that Hürlimann built his own factory in 1937 in Wil in Switzerland. That same year, he received a patent for the invention of a front axle that featured a wide steering angle that resulted in shorter and tighter turns. This tractor, the model 4DT45, also featured a 4-cylinder direct injection diesel. Now you have to bear in mind that the first direct injection diesel wouldn't be introduced on the likes of Alice Chalmers tractors for another 25 or 26 years. Hürlimann's innovativeness will come in handy when in 1940 he adapted his diesel engines to operate on coal gas. So diesel fuel supplies were being restricted as a result of fuel consumption pressure put on Europe during World War II, of course. That same year, Hürlimann introduced rear wheels on his tractor models that featured a pressure spring suspension system. This system was designed to compensate for the lack of inflatable tyres, so that was another victim of the war need to the rubber. After the war, Hürlimann started looking beyond Switzerland and set about producing a 70 horsepower tractor. So this was the model D600, which of course was exported. A large portion of those tractors ended up going to Argentina, a country where the Hürlimann brand still enjoys some popularity today. So just a little bit off topic, this is something that I picked up in the last couple of weeks. It's a Weaver MIG welder, so it's a MIG 250 from Weaver. Now it doesn't just do MIG, it also does TIG. It does arc welding, your normal stick welding, and it also does flux core welding. Now it was cheap, it's small, it's compact. I didn't know what to expect. It was €270, and anyone that knows a MIG welder, flux core welder, a TIG welder, and an arc welder all combined in that inverter welder for €270 is an absolute bargain. So I said, look, it's worth the try. So I did get it. I've used it. I haven't got any gas for it because I'm in Galway. I obviously have a bigger welder at home in Navan in the workshop, but this is one I wanted for my little workshop at home in Galway for doing smaller little projects, for making special tools and stuff. And I have used the flux core part of it. I've used the flux core welder. It came with a roll of flux core wire. It came with all the accessories. And it's amazing the job that it has done. Now, I'm going to do a separate video on this welder coming up. If anyone's interested, it's a super little project welder for anyone who's not doing anything too majorly heavy. And I'll give it on. I'm not sponsored or nothing. I bought this. There's no sponsorship here on this, but it is something that I think is at the minute great value when things are crazy money. So I bought it off the Weaver website itself. So if anyone has one, or if anyone used one, let me know what you think. And if you do want to see the video on it, I will do a proper video on it, maybe doing all the arc welding and the MIG welding and the TIG welding when I get set up. So yeah, that's just something I thought I'd throw into the video today. So by the end of the 1950s, the Hürlimann organization would introduce its D-series tractor, which included the most popular model, the D90. At a time when the tractor manufacturers were obtaining major components from other manufacturers, Hürlimann continued to build its own engine, clutch, gearbox, gears, axle and hydraulics at its own plant. Hürlimann also continued the practice of individually building each tractor, as opposed to having them manufactured in assembly line style. This reinforced the concept among tractor buyers that Hürlimann tractors were a high quality machine, or hand-built, individually built high quality machine. In 1966, Hürlimann was one of the first tractors in Europe to introduce high capacity horsepower tractors, introducing a 95 horsepower machine that operated with a 4-cylinder diesel engine. That tractor also featured the first hydraulically driven PTO in agriculture. Front-wheel drive innovation continued to reign supreme at Hürlimann when in 1968 the firm introduced synchronized mechanical transmission and offered up to 18 gear changes. These tractors were also equipped with the Hürlimann ZF front-wheel drive axle. In 1972, the firm would be the first diesel tractor built in Europe to employ a turbocharger. Ahead of the times and very likely too early for that marketplace demand, Hürlimann introduced in 1976 the model T14000, which offered a then unique continuously variable transmission CVT. This marks the very first use of a CVT transmission in a tractor. Today, the CVT is commonplace option, of course, purchased on higher horsepower and medium horsepower tractors. Market dictates consolidation demand for tractors worldwide started to take a nosedive. Tractor sales started to take a nosedive in the 1970s, which put pressure on Hürlimann's survival in the future. So in 1979, the Hürlimann organization agreed to be purchased by the Italian firm Sami. Rather than discontinue the highly regarded Hürlimann name, Sami incorporated that brand into a new corporate name, the Sami Lamborghini Hürlimann Company. In 1995, acquisition of Deutz Fahr that organisation was renamed Sami Deitfar. The Hürlimann brand of tractors continued to be produced and sold throughout Europe. Altogether, over 300 different Hürlimann models have been sold in the brand's 88-year history since it started. It's probably a little bit longer than that now. So that's it. That's it for today. That's the Hürlimann brand. Again, if you have any history with Hürlimann, if you've used them, if you've driven them, if you've worked on them, if you've worked for Hürlimann themselves, please get in touch. As I said, popular enough among our way. I'm not so sure, but over here in the west of Ireland or in the south, but definitely in around Meath, there was dealers over there, or a dealer at least over there. And there was a lot of Samis as well, and obviously there would have been a lot of familiarity among the brands in the 80s and in the 90s. So look, that's it for today. Thank you very much. I will be back next week with another video. I'm going to try and keep them coming as much as I can. I have a little bit more free time now, I should say, over the next couple of weeks, so it shouldn't be too bad. I will have another video on our 165 coming up as well. We have the flexi cab put back onto that. We have a couple of bits and pieces to put back on the door, but we'll have a finale video on that coming up soon. A quick look around the whole machine. So that's it. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got to the end of the video, thank you very much. And please, as always, keep in touch, and I'll see everybody next week.